Like so many things American, Western square dance has roots in a mixture of cultures and yet is something undeniably American. American culture is a conglomerate of cultures mixed together at different times by people with different backgrounds coming together. Although most people equate square dance with Midwestern farm culture and mid-century musicals like Oklahoma and Cat Ballou, I would like to demonstrate that Native American and African Americans played a foundational role in the creation of Western square dance the way it is today, the official dance in 31 states. Early immigrants from Europe in the 1600s brought their own social dance customs with them. Reels, jigs, and especially the quadrille. Added to this early on were native rhythms and steps. Originally taught in English, the quadrille terminology changed to French after the Revolutionary War to indicate a rejection of all things English and the popularity of France in America. During this time, the quadrille also became popular among the slaves from Africa, a tradition remembered and taught today in many Caribbean countries. African slaves began to adapt these popular dances for themselves. Meanwhile, traditional European dances began to use enslaved African musicians, particularly fiddlers, to provide music. At first, these dances were taught by dancing masters from America and Europe, but as they became more complex and difficult to remember, a significant change came about. In the African tradition of call and response, the enslaved people had been calling the steps for their own dancing. This soon began to appear in all dances, as the enslaved musicians began to call the steps as well as to provide music. This is how Western square dance was born. After World War I, taste had changed. Jazz and the Charleston were all the rage, and automaker Henry Ford entered the picture, crusading to bring back the old-fashioned dances of his youth. He was directly responsible for bringing dance into schools and early American dancing being added to the curriculum at 34 institutions of higher learning. Out of this movement, printed directions in periodicals and newspaper and early recordings were published. Western square dance thrived in the rural communities until its resurgence with the movie industry in the 50s and 60s. It became so popular at this point that you could take classes at your local Y and community centers. The story of Western square dance is a long one, covering many aspects as it evolved over hundreds of years and thousands of miles. We can see contributions from European, African, and Native American cultures, as well as regional influences from other cultures. Western square dance has brought people from diverse backgrounds and multiple generations together and, as America always does, mixed up the cultures to produce something new and uniquely American.